What's happening, guys? And welcome back to the channel. And with this season kicking off in a week's time, next weekend, and with Chelsea's pre-season matters pretty much concluded, we've got the opportunity to head into the game against Crystal Palace next weekend, George, with a possibility of having the European Super Cup in the cabinet. This is a trophy that unfortunately has eluded us Chelsea fans and the club for a while now. Obviously, I remember we lost against Bayern Munich on penalties. We lost against Liverpool most recently on penalties. And we also lost against Atletico Madrid as well. So it's not been kind to us in recent years. We take on, obviously, Unai Emery's Villareal, who famously beat Manchester United on penalties in that Europa League final. George, just how important is it to head into the season with that trophy in the cabinet, given how we've done in previous years in this competition?
Yeah, it's one that I'm looking forward to, and one that I think Chelsea as a club need to put to bed, because actually, although we kind of downplay the whole Super Cup thing and say it's not important, actually, for the chance that we actually have to win this, it comes along very rarely, considering that you're only involved in it if you win one of the major European competitions. So we've been unlucky in the past, and I think we've probably been a bit naive going into some of those games in the past. But I don't think Thomas Tuchel will take it lightly. And yeah, mate, it's another possibility of silverware. And we saw it with Leicester yesterday. I mean, you still want to go out and win it. It's a competitive game of football. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'd be great to go into a season from a psychological point of view, still feeling as on top of the world as we finish the season so well. To go into the season with the Super Cup and then possibly, later on in the season as world champions, I mean, it would be fantastic for the club.
Yeah, I think it really would be a step in the right direction, a nice, momentum boost heading into the campaign. George, it's been quite a successful pre-season for Chelsea. Players have got some good minutes under their belts. Going into this game, obviously the lads that were involved deep into the Euros, so the likes of Mason Mount, Chilwell, Reece James and Jorginho, haven't featured at all in pre-season. Obviously, they're pretty much part of our strongest 11. What sort of lineup are you expecting from Tuchel? Obviously, Romelu Lukaku, if he's registered by 11 p.m. on Tuesday, can be in the squad to feature. What are you expecting lineup-wise from Tuchel, given kind of the lack of minutes from some of our key players?
Yeah, I think we've got to expect it to be slightly different. It won't be full strength. Again, we saw that in the Community Shield with both sides yesterday. I think Thomas Tuchel will go with players that maybe he wants to see a little bit more of, to see if they're capable of maybe pushing for a first team place. And yeah, like you alluded to, I think you've got to give those players a bit more time to bed in, reattach themselves to the squad and Thomas Tuchel and get back to things Chelsea. So, mate, I mean, last season, ever since Thomas Tuchel arrived, I think we were trying to predict formations and personnel, and he shocked us every time. So I'm not going to sit here and try and tell you the 11 that's going to play in the Super Cup, but I would expect a few fringe players to be playing in that. And, if Lukaku manages to get the medical and everything over the line by the end of the weekend or, early next week, then you might presume that he would at least feature. But that remains to be seen. But I think, I would expect a different Chelsea than what we'll be seeing in, say, a couple of months' time when the season's really up and running.
100%. And obviously in the pre-season, we've seen, a continuation of that 3-4-3 formation. It fully looks like we're going to carry on with that into this coming season. To me, it doesn't really seem any point in changing it, given how successful it's been since Tuchel came in, obviously culminating with that Champions League triumph in Porto. George, are you happy for this formation to continue into the season, or do you think we could possibly at some point see a couple of alterations to it?
I think you need to have alterations, because I think the difficulty with that is that a lot of teams were probably blown away by the drastic change in formation and the tactics that we play. But this season, I think teams will be used to it and how we play. So we do need a kind of plan B if it doesn't go well. But actually, I think by bringing in Lukaku gives us that whole different dimension that we were missing anyway. I mean, if you look at the chances that we actually created under that formation against teams, we could have blown teams away and actually finished higher in the table. I think it was just a case of that one missing piece of the puzzle where we just didn't have a goal scorer. And now we've got that. I think it's even more of a worry for the other teams. So I'm really happy with it. I think it all works. I think, having that physical presence up top, the two attacking fullbacks getting deliveries into the box, which obviously was something that we couldn't really do because we didn't have any height or presence in there. And yeah, the fact that we beat City, the supposedly best team in the world, 3 times, I think it's evidence to show that any team's going to have problems against Chelsea next season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do think, though, as you said, I think it was a bit of a surprise. So now that teams are kind of aware and knowing how we're going to play, I think I almost liken it a little bit to when Leicester won the league with that counter-attacking 4-4-2. People couldn't handle it because they'd never really seen it in the Premier League before. But in the following season, they'd kind of been worked out because everyone knew what to expect. So I think it could be similar for us, but as you said, having added that dimension of Lukaku, that gives us something completely different. So I fully expect us to have a lot of success going forwards with this formation. George, just a quick word on the challenge that Villareal might pose us on Wednesday night. Obviously, Unai Emery's got a fantastic record in the Europa League. They've not had a great pre-season. They've not won a single game. What are you kind of expecting from them? We shouldn't go into this thinking it's a foregone conclusion, should we?
No, we've done it before. I remember Monaco seemed to be pretty much Chelsea's bookies' favourite. Everyone didn't even back an eyelid about a result, and we ended up getting absolutely torn apart by, I think it was Falcao with a hat-trick in that game at the time. And they're nowhere near on our level. And I think Villareal are the same, but they're still a well-respected football club. And, they won the Europa League on merit, albeit on penalties. Yeah, mate, it's going to be a competitive game of football. And I think the difficulty is, I think if you put a full-strength Chelsea against a full-strength Villareal, I think Chelsea win, but it won't be full strength. So you've got to look at it as it's going to be a bit more level playing field. And people are still, going to make mistakes, and they're still reaching those peak fitness levels they're searching for at this stage. So, but for the first time, actually, I'm really looking forward to the Super Cup. It's one of those, I think I really enjoyed the Liverpool one because of the rivalry, but this one, I really want Chelsea to kind of get this one and continue the steam train that we're on in terms of success. So I think they'll pose definitely a threat. I think it'll be a tight game, but I'm hoping that we can seal the deal.
Yeah, I have to agree with him. I think it's vitally important that we do get this trophy in the cabinet. You want to get trophies under your belt as quickly as possible, and we've got a unique opportunity where we've got the chance to get one in under our belts before the season even kicks off. So I think, as I said, it will give everyone a nice boost. But George, just before we wrap up, will that Super Cup be coming to Chelsea? What are you expecting on Wednesday night? Are you predicting a win?
Yeah, I think it's either third or fourth time lucky now. So I think our luck's got to change. And I just think we have a bit too much quality for Villareal, in all honesty. Obviously, we still have to show up. We still have to put it away. I think the result will be heavily dependent on whether Lukaku does, in fact, feature. But I think Chelsea bring home the Super Cup come Wednesday. So I just really want that badge on the strip, mate. If we get that, and then the World Club Championship as well, it would be an amazing achievement. Something that, again, Thomas Tuchel really is the only recent manager in history to do. So that'd be amazing. Yeah,
I think it would be a great way to kick things off. I also share your sentiments that I think it'll be coming back to the bridge with us. But as I say, we've got to turn up to a professional performance, and hopefully our luck can change in this competition. But yeah, that's just myself and George's thoughts on the Super Cup on Wednesday night in Belfast. As always, guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below. What sort of lineup you're expecting to see? What result are you predicting? And as always, smash a like on the video and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you in the next one.